Welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about the topic e-governance. So what is this e-governance? E-governance is basically the application of information technology and communication for the purpose of governance. This is commonly called as e-governance. So information technology क्या है? एक डेटा को क्रिएट करने के लिए, प्रोसेस करने के लिए और सिक्योरली स्टोर करने के लिए जो ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म इस्तेमाल होता है उसे इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी कहते हैं. So this information technology and communication, this together, if applied for the purpose of governance, then that is called as e-governance. So information technology और communication दोनों को governance purpose के लिए इस्तेमाल किया तो उसे e-governance कहते हैं. So what is the use of this e-governance? So with this e-governance जो भी information है वो सब transparent manner में आम आदमी के बीच और लोगों के बीच डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाएगा. So this information can easily be distributed to the public in a very transparent manner. So e-governance is basically the application of information and communication technologies in order to transform the efficiency, effectiveness, transparency, accountability, so of all the information and transactional exchanges. So जो भी transactions होते हैं government और उसके different agencies के बीच में, like the agencies of national, state, municipal and local levels. So all these agencies and the transactions that take place between these agencies can be kept in a transparent manner to the public. So it can be given in a very transparent manner to the public. So now let's talk about the history of e-governance. So if we want to talk about the history of e-governance in India, first we need to talk about the first major step which was taken towards this concept of e-governance, which was basically the establishment of National Informatics Center, also popularly called as NIC. ये National Informatics Center 1977 में एस्टैब्लिश हुआ था और इसे एक फर्स्ट स्टेप बुला भी सकते हैं e-governance की तरफ. So this was again followed by the launch of NIC-NET in basically 1987. So the District Information System of National Informatics Center, also called as DIS-NIC program, this was launched basically in order to computerize all the district offices in the country. So जो भी district offices था इस देश में उस सभी को computerize करने के लिए this program was launched, which is called as DIS-NIC or also called as the District Information System of National Informatics Center. So thus by 1990 this program NIC-NET वो सब district headquarters में extend हो गया था. So a national task force on information technology and software development was constituted in May 1998. So in the year 1999, a separate ministry was created for the information. So in 1970, Government of India established the Department of Electronics. So the District Information System of National Informatics Center DIS-NIC program, which was basically launched to computerize all the district offices in the country. So now let's talk about the objectives. So what are the objectives of this e-governance in India? So एक basic or one of the major objectives of the e-governance is to make every information on the government available to all in the public interest. मतलब जो भी information चाहे वो transactions हो, government की objectives हो, अगली कदम हो, जो भी हो, उन सब को publicly avail करना एक one of the objectives है e-governance की. The second point is to increase and encourage people's participation in the governance process. मतलब गवर्नमेंट की जो भी स्टेप्स है उन सब एक्टिविटीज में कॉमन पब्लिक को एनकरेज करना पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए. सो द गवर्नमेंट इन ऑर्डर टू encourage people to take part in governance programs. So this is one of the objectives of e-governance. और थर्ड और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेप की एक ट्रांसपेरेंसी मेंटेन करना है गवर्नमेंट और पब्लिक के बीच में. सो बिटवीन गवर्नमेंट एंड पब्लिक देयर हैज टू बी अ ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन टर्म्स ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शंस, ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन टर्म्स ऑफ whatever the steps that government is taking, and accountability for each and every action. And the fourth step being to reduce the government spending on information and services interactions in e-governance. So if we talk about the interactions in e-governance, they are basically 4 types. जो भी interactions है e-governance में वो 4 तरह के होते हैं. And they are basically, so the first interaction that we are talking here is called as government to government or G2C, government to So what is this government to government or G2C? So what happens here is basically the information is exchanged within the government. So government में ही information exchange होता है. For example, either between the central government, state government and the local governments, or between the different branches of the same government. So जो भी एक information है वो information सो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के बीच में, या स्टेट गवर्नमेंट या लोकल गवर्नमेंट के बीच में, या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट लोकल गवर्नमेंट के बीच, जो भी है डिफरेंट गवर्नमेंट्स के बीच में ही जो इंफॉर्मेशन एक्सचेंज होता है उसे वी कॉल इट एज गवर्नमेंट टू गवर्नमेंट, और इट इज कॉमनली कॉल्ड एज G2G. फॉर एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ दीज आर e-courts, e-police. So the next one we have here is called government to citizen, basically also called as G2C. So what is the G2C? Here what happens is the citizens, they have a platform, so using which they can interact with the government and get varieties of access to the public services which is being offered by the government. मतलब so citizens के पास एक platform होता है, उसके उस प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू जो भी वैरायटी ऑफ सर्विसेज गवर्नमेंट पब्लिक को ऑफर कर रही है वो सब एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल आधार, उमंग, डिजी लॉकर, सो वेयर यू कैन फाइंड बेसिकली ऑल योर लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट्स लाइक योर DL, so your marks cards, those things can be found and securely stored in DigiLocker, which is one of the services offered by the government. So these kind of services, they come under the category of government to citizen or G2C. The next one we have here is basically government to businesses, also called as G2B. So what is this? Here what happens here is the businesses whichever are there, they interact with the government seamlessly with respect to the services of the government offered to businesses. So the government offers a few of its services to the business, so those businesses can interact with the government seamlessly. For example, e-taxation, MCA 21. So the next one we have here is called government to employees, also called as G2E. Here what happens is the interaction takes place between government and its employees occurs in an efficient and very speedy manner. So जो भी एक interaction है government और उसके employees के बीच में वो एक efficient और speedy तरीके से होता है. Example, e-learning or so we have a few governance initiatives in India. So, and they are, the next one is National Governance Plan, also called as NEGP. So this was basically formulated by Department of Electronics and Information Technology and Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. So what is the use of this project, or what is the aim of this project? So this project basically aims at making all government services accessible to common man. So जो भी government के services है वो सब common man के लिए accessible होना चाहिए. So it should ensure efficiency, transparency, reliability of search services at very affordable cost to realize the basic needs of the common man. So yes, NEGP के under 31 mission mode projects आते हैं, उसे we also call it as MMPS. So they are again further classified as state, central or integrated projects depending on where these projects are applied. एक mission mode project is basically an individual project है within which the National E-Governance Plan or NEGP, it basically focuses on one aspect of the electronic governance. एक विषय और एक aspect ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गवर्नेंस के ऊपर दिस एक प्रोजेक्ट होता है, एक मिशन मोड प्रोजेक्ट. फॉर एग्जांपल, एक प्रोजेक्ट बैंकिंग के ऊपर हो सकता है, एक प्रोजेक्ट लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स के ऊपर हो सकता है, या फिर एक प्रोजेक्ट कमर्शियल टैक्सेस के ऊपर हो सकता है. So what is this? This is basically the various initiatives under Digital India. So what is this concept of Digital India? So Digital India क्या होता है? So basically the vision of Digital India program is to transform India into a digitally empowered society and a knowledgeable economy. So उसके अंडर इनिशिएटिव्स जो आते हैं उसे डिजिटल इंडिया इनिशिएटिव्स बुलाया जाता है. सो वन ऑफ द मेजर इनिशिएटिव्स ऑफ इट इज कॉल्ड एज माई गवर्नमेंट और माई GOV, which stands for government. So what is this my government? This is basically a link between government and citizens towards meeting the goal of good governance. So it is basically a platform for citizen engagement. So it was basically launched on 26 July 2014 for exchange of ideas or suggestions to how the government should work, the action it should take. So इस government initiative, MyGov initiative, लोगों को encourage करता है, citizens को encourage करता है वो topics पोल, टॉक, ब्लॉग, डिस्कस, डू, इन सब एक्टिविटीज के थ्रू लोगों को गवर्नेंस के बारे में, गवर्नमेंट को फीडबैक देने के लिए, सजेशंस देने के लिए या फिर न्यू आइडियाज को शेयर करने के लिए एक प्लेटफॉर्म क्रिएट करता है. दिस इज व्हाट is the main objective of MyGov initiative. So the next one we have is DigiLocker. What is this DigiLocker? So DigiLocker is basically a platform where citizens can search and store their legal documents like their driving license, their marks cards. All those documents can be easily stored in an electronic format on their mobile phones or devices. ये DigiLocker है. Basically एक ऐप है जिसके मुखांत और जिसके थ्रू आम आदमी या सिटीजन अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स लाइक DL या मार्क्स कार्ड को सिक्योरली अपने मोबाइल पर स्टोर कर सकता है. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द इनिशिएटिव्स ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट and a step towards e-governance. So the next one we have here is e-hospital online registration framework, which is called as ORF. It is basically an initiative using which the patients can take online appointments. So patients online appointments ले सकते हैं government hospitals में. So this framework basically covers patient care, laboratory services and medical record management. So few other initiatives that come under Digital India are National Scholarships Portal, also called as NSP. So what is this NSP? This is basically a centralized platform where students from different parts of the country can apply for the scholarships under any scholarship scheme. So जो भी students है वो different parts of the country में हो सकता है, लेकिन इस platform के through जो भी scholarship schemes है उसके through scholarship पा सकता है. That is the advantage of this National Scholarships Portal, also called as NSP, which makes it easier for students to apply and also get the scholarships. So the next one we have is Darpan. What is this Darpan? So Darpan can be classified as an online tool that is used to monitor analyze and also analyze the implementation of critical and high priority projects of the state. So जो भी critical या high priority projects होते हैं उस state में, उसे monitor करने के लिए और उसके actions या work को analyze करने के लिए ये दर्पण एक online tool है. So it basically what it does is it facilitates presentation of a real-time data. So what is this real-time data? Real-time data are those data which are currently active. Basically जो हो रहा है वो वही डेटा को उसी समय ऑनलाइन रिप्रेजेंट करना उस डेटा को रियल टाइम डेटा बनाता है. सो दिस बेसिकली ऑन द की परफॉर्मेंस indicators or called as KPI. So those data or the key performance indicators are presented online in real time. So another initiative under Digital India is called as Pragati, which basically stands for proactive governance and timely implementation. So what is this? This basically aims at starting a culture of proactive governance and timely implementation. So this is a robust system here. So for bringing e-governance transparency, so e-accountability, so with basically at the real-time presence and exchange among the key stakeholders. So ये 2015 में launch हुआ था. So another initiative which comes under Common Service Centers is CSC 2.0, which is one of the initiatives of your Digital India. So what is this CSC 2.0? So it is being implemented to develop and provide support to the use of information technology in rural areas of the country. So जो भी गांव का पोर्शन है उसमें इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी को इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए, डेवलप करने के लिए ये कॉमन सर्विसेज सेंटर 2.0 स्कीम डिजिटल इंडिया इनिशिएटिव में लॉन्च किया गया था. सो द CSCs are basically information communication technology ICT enabled kiosks with broadband connectivity to provide various government related accesses. Few other common initiatives are Mobile Seva, using which the government provides services to its people through on mobile phones, tablets, where at the simple touch, people can access government services and information about it. So another service is called as Jeevan Praman. So what is this? This is basically an Aadhaar-based biometric authentication system. So what is this biometric authentication system? आपके fingerprint हो या आई स्कैनर हो, वो सब चीजों से आप आइडेंटिफाई हो सकते हो, वो सब बायोमेट्रिक ऑथेंटिकेशन में आता है, using which they can authenticate you. So it is basically an Aadhaar based biometric authentication system for pensioners. जो भी एम्प्लॉयज है जो पेंशन रिसीव करते हैं, okay, so those people are called as pensioners. So the system provides basically authenticity to digital life certificate without the necessity of the pensioner being present in person before his or her pension dispensing authority. So जो भी उस एम्प्लॉय को पेंशन दे रहे होते हैं वो अथॉरिटी, पेंशन डिस्पेंसिंग अथॉरिटी और PDA, उसके सामने आना जरूरी नहीं है. So using the digital platform, the person or the individual can get his pension. So this is basically an Aadhaar based biometric authentication system, so which is made especially for pensioners. So और एक initiative है वो National Center of Geoinformatics और NCOG कहलाता है. So under this project, what happens is the Geographic Information System, so also called as GIS, okay, so which is basically a platform for sharing, collaboration, so location based analytics and decision. So जो भी वो location based analysis होना चाहिए वो सब इस platform में होता है. Thank you.